Good morning, T-Wolves. Mr. Quentin here with what we did for today, Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. That's right, folks. We're doing Tuesday now. Yes, we're going to continue our discussion of cultural diffusion in preparation for our test on Monday. That's right, folks. Got a week before the test on Monday. So we want to make sure that you are ready for it. So as always, again, pretending that we're period one, but you can go to whatever period you are. Yes, we're going to head on to quarter two, week of December 7th. We're going to jump into Tuesday. And then you'll see that we have an assignment. This is a daily work assignment. It is not for points. This will be asked of you to use for notes. So I really encourage you to make sure that you get this done so that you do not end up hurting yourself because you didn't take this seriously. We just worked through this together in class, folks. So you're just going to go here and fill out your copy. You can see here that I have done my copy already, and we're just going to be walking through this together. So you'll see here that we talk about how cultural diffusion in trade is a really, really big deal. And a lot of the things that we share is because of trade. The ideas that come from creating a good product or going into the manufacturing or how we run that business, those ideas cause us to look at other people's cultures. And those ideas can also turn into things like religious ideas, cultural celebrations, shared traditions. And that's what we're talking about here, folks. So we just simply move through and we're looking at examples of things. I'm allowing you to simply pause here so that you can see what my responses are. But you can see you can see parts of our culture in other countries and how we might be able to see that this works for us and works for them. So that's cultural diffusion. It's trade because this is business, but these are also ideas and goods. We watched a little video. This video is only 2 minutes long, so it's a very, very easy video for you to watch. Answer those questions right quick, easy peasy. Hang on. There we go. We're going to move on to the next slide here. We talked a little bit about what the Silk Road was. This paragraph here, remember, please chunk your reading, right? We're looking at, one section of the paragraph here, one section of the smaller paragraph, digesting and moving on. So we just talked a little bit more about how the Silk Road was a 4,000-mile road and how we really went over learning all about different cultures and different ideas, different types of items that were shared and spread along this 4,000-mile stretch of road that went from the coast of China to the coast of Europe. And that's a whole lot of trade and different types of people that can get in there. And so we just answered that question. Then we also asked the question, why was the Silk Road important? So you're going to be thinking about that after you watch that video, after you read that little paragraph there. And of course, you're always welcome to pause the video to see what I wrote. But remember, we're not copying me. We're making our own notes. And you're going to answer this question as to why the Silk Road was important. Now, we move to the present, and you can see that we still do trade with other countries. One of our biggest trade partners here in the United States is China. And so it talks about the history of our original trade with China and how China only had one open port and how the sailors were meant to stay on the port. And it asks, do you think that limited cultural diffusion? And so you get to answer that question. And do you think that it would be as effective today? Why or why not? Answering those two questions right there. Again, you can pause the video to see what I wrote. Again, we're chunking our reading, but please take your own notes. We then look at some examples of trade between us and China today. And you can see in this photo, you can circle some examples. Folks, again, it is just a slide deck, so you can simply just insert a shape and you'll be good to go there. And think about what kind of items we trade now. Think about all the clothing that comes from China, all your electronics, all your phones, and all your Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff. All that stuff comes from China. So you're going to answer that question. And then you've got 2 paragraphs to write, folks. minimum three sentences, complete and complex sentences, please. I just made the font larger, so please don't think that you've got to fill up the whole area. I just made the font larger. But again, you can pause here to see what I wrote. You're going to need to do two examples, please. How is culture diffused through trade? And then what is similar or different between trade in the past and present? Remember, folks, I am not asking you to have collegiate level writing. That's what my example is, all right? It's the exemplar. I'm not asking you to have that kind of writing. I just want you to give me 3 to 5 complete and complex sentences, okay? You'll notice that I have 6 sentences in each one. All I did was make the font bigger. So I'm not asking you to fill up that whole slide, folks. You can do that with just 3 to 5 sentences, even if it only takes up a small little portion of the slide, because your font will be smaller. You're also free to make the font bigger yourself if you like. That's totally up to you. Whatever works. You do that, you're all done. Okay. This becomes a great study guide for you right here. Okay. And if worst comes to absolute worst, you always have this video where you can see the notes that I've created as well. And you can pause this at any time so that you can read these. All right, folks, that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions, as always, please make sure that you send me that note in Schoology. Send me an email, and I hope you have an absolutely awesome day. Mr. Quinton, out.